All right, so that's the big question that we are posing today. Will the government give in to opposition pressure, viewers? The visuals that you see on your television screen were recorded last night from 7 Lok Kalyan Marg, the Prime Minister's residence. He hosted a dinner for the 7 delegations that had gone across the world to put forth India's interest and India's point of view of what will be now a new normal when it comes down to responding to terrorism, especially from Pakistan. The Prime Minister met the 7 delegations. Some of them, of course, what you can see on your television screen, were members from the opposition. Now, right after that, you had the Congress General Secretary this morning put out a tweet. Jairam Ramesh put out a pointed tweet where he said, all right, so the Prime Minister has met the 7 delegations and now maybe he can look into a few issues that the Congress has been raising. And at the back of that tweet, you had Jairam Ramesh, who, along with the Congress, has raised pointed questions, which, mind you, the Congress party has been raising over the course of the last few days. So the Congress has, of course, asked, number one, that there be a special committee like the one that was constituted at the time of the Kargil war. And will the Prime Minister constitute a similar committee like then and let that committee investigate and then come up with a report. The other point that has been the Congress wants is, of course, that an all-party meeting be addressed and chaired by the Prime Minister himself. There was an all-party meeting earlier, viewers, right at the back of the Pahalgam terror attack, but the Prime Minister did not chair it, and that has been apparently a grouse with the opposition parties. The other point that, of course, the opposition has raised is will the Prime Minister act on terror accountability? On this particular point, the opposition, of course, is asking questions on how is it that 4 of the perpetrators of terror where Pahalgam are concerned are still on the run. Number 2, of course, the Congress wants that during the monsoon session, which is going to take place from the 21st of July, that there be time which was stipulated by the government for a full-on debate where Operation Sindoor is concerned. Once again, let me bring you back to the moot question that we're asking in this debate, which is that will the government give in finally to questions, requests, pressure, call it what you may, coming in from the opposition. Getting you into our political face-off this evening, Sanju Verma, National Spokesperson, Bharatiya Janata Party, Mahima Singh, National Spokesperson, Congress. Both the participants and spokespersons will be accorded a 2-minute time to put their point of view forward. I would like to begin with Mahima Singh. Mahima Singh, you know, the General Secretary of the Congress, Jairam Ramesh, has said that now that the delegation have come back, the Prime Minister has met the delegates, can he address? And he gave out the 4 questions. But these are questions, Mahima Singh, that you've been asking all along. It's not that the Congress actually waited for the delegations to come home. These were questions that were a tad bit uncomfortable for the people of your very own party who were on board these delegations. So you've been asking them earlier. What's so new about them now?
Jai Hind, Preeti, I believe that you see, yesterday we saw the Prime Minister meeting all the delegations, talking to all the counterparts that went there. And I believe that the country now wants to hear what is the status quo of the Operation Sindoor, which the BJP has very conveniently left open-ended by stifling the army's autonomy at a time when the army was ready and as ready as it could be to go out and get Pakistan on its knees. And I think now the delegations have come back earlier. The government was itself saying that, you see, we have sent out the governments, we have sent out the delegations, let the delegations come back, and some of our counterparts were also saying. And now what we are seeing is that one after the other, there are news reports coming in all these countries, including the USA and other countries. We are seeing news reports, we are seeing news articles coming out wherein it is rather being alleged that there was a parallel campaign being run in India by the media. So even the media is having to face the brunt of the government's lackadaisical conduct. And I think that is it. That should be enough reason for the government to come out clean, to speak up to the country, to present the case as it is, so that all the mouths can be shut. If how the BJP believes we are
Okay.
asking unnecessarily, let them come out clean.
Okay, all right. You know, I've taken the liberty of not giving a timer in the first round, and I would hope neither of the participants would let me down. So, Sanju Verma, let me ask you that question before we move into a timed debate on the next question. This one is without a timer, so I would hope both of you would honor it. But Sanju Verma, I don't want to pull you in, and the question I want to ask is, some of these are credible questions that the opposition is asking. So instead of patronizing the opposition, maybe come out and address it. What's so wrong in advocating and allotting, along with that specific time during the monsoon session, to have a debate when it comes down to the Pahalgam terror and action taken in Operation Sindoor? What's so wrong in, like Kargil, like Vajpayee did, to constitute a review committee like it was made then, and a proper report being filed at the back of it? What's so wrong in asking the Prime Minister to chair an all-party meet at a time when something which is so high on our national interest agenda has taken place? There's nothing quite wrong in that, Sanju Verma. I hope you'd reckon that.
You know, Preeti, let me make one thing very clear. The Prime Minister, under Article 75 of the Constitution, has enormous amount of power, and the opposition seems to have forgotten. The opposition is not sitting in the treasury benches. They've been booted out under the so-called leadership or lack of it of Rahul Gandhi in 3 Lok Sabha elections consecutively, Lok Sabha 2014, 2019 and 2024. But Vinash Kale Vipareet Buddhi is something that the Congress has come to symbolize. They refuse to introspect. They refuse to learn from past mistakes. They refuse to take any takeaways. And Prime Minister will do what he needs to do. But let me just say one thing. There have been umpteen number of surveys, and on an average, 83% of India believes in Prime Minister Modi, what he has done by way of Operation Sindoor, and the manner in which Pakistan was dealt a body blow. So the electorate has no problem. Problem is all in the minds of the Congress party and its Darbari ecosystem led by the likes of Jairam Ramesh, Pawan Khera, what have you. I want to say one thing. These guys keep shifting the goalpost. They first said, let the army come and give a press conference, do a press conference. We had Sophia Qureshi, we had Wing Commander Vyomika Singh. They did the needful and they did it to the best of their abilities. Then we had the DGMO give a detailed, exhaustive press conference. The Congress was not satisfied. The Raksha Mantri has spoken on Operation Sindoor. The External Affairs Minister has spoken on Operation Sindoor. The MEA spokesperson has spoken on Operation Sindoor, and the Prime Minister, no less, has reinforced, Preeti, not once, not twice, not thrice, but umpteen times. Ceasefire nahi hua hai. We've taken a pause. Operation Sindoor is still underway, but the Congress simply refuses to acknowledge what is being told. And
Okay.
I want to say this. No, my last point is this, Preeti. My final point is this. I'm not somebody, who's going to take Pakistan or their Prime Minister's word. But for whatever it is worth, since the Congress party keeps quoting Pakistan, at the drop of a hat, let me tell them, let your audience know this in 20 seconds. Pakistan Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif clearly said that on the 10th of May at 4:30 a.m., Pakistan wanted to take action against India, but they were stunned by the unleashing of the BrahMos missile, which completely
Okay, we're going to come back to that, but okay, I would just want to, I'm going to now start introducing the timer, 2 minutes each to both our participants in this debate. But on that note, and Sanju Verma, I'll circle back to you. This is not changing goalposts, actually. These were demands of not the Congress, but the opposition right from the beginning. They wanted the Prime Minister to chair an all-party meet. That's what they're asking, number one. They actually wanted a special session for Pahalgam terror attack and Operation Sindoor, and now they're asking stipulated time be allotted in the monsoon session. I would reckon one new demand is that a committee like Kargil be set up at the back of Operation Sindoor. And I'll circle back to you on that. 2 minutes, Mahima Singh, I want to bring you in. Mahima Singh, in politics, while there is opposition, and there should be a constructive opposition, there is always a bit of give and take. You're coming at the back of the leader of opposition already floating the theory of Narendra surrender and hyphenating surrender with the Prime Minister of India. So would you think that's good faith going into all these demands that the opposition rightfully is asking?
Preeti, what good faith is not, let me tell you. You see, I was listening to the BJP spokesperson, and at the very outset of a convenient narrative, she said, well, the Prime Minister will do what he needs to. And she relied on some survey, which I don't think you have put out on your show, or I do not know the credibility of what is the methodology of that survey. This government very conveniently relies on these surveys, selective surveys. When it comes to answerability, accountability, they run away from reports, they run away from various analysis. But when it comes to the surveys which conveniently favor them, so I'm not aware of that survey, number one. Number two is that, Preeti, we have been again and again saying that these very terrorists, which are still out on the loose, by the way, which have not been nailed down, have been, participative, have been responsible for 3 previous attacks in the past 18 months. So 4 attacks in total. Where are those terrorists? Why can't the BJP come out and address the elephant in the room? Every time it is asked, they start thumping their chest. They start saying that, you see, we have carried out this operation, which, by the way, the army has carried out. It is the army's valor, not the BJP's. And the army and its earlier chiefs like AJB Jenny ji have come out. General AJB Jenny came out and said that earlier there was no politicization of these issues, and these strikes were always there. Only the names were different. And he very much said that the governments always gave free hand. Army always had a free hand, unlike this time when it was stifled, by the way. So let me just say that the government must address the elephant in the room. All we are asking is to live by the precedents of their own erstwhile prime ministers. Why can't the BJP go by that? You're talking about Narendra surrender, Preeti. We have seen Trump say it again and again. We have seen Putin now come out and, support Trump's narrative. We have seen
All right,
Elon
ma'am, your
Musk.
time is up. I'd like to shift 2 minutes and I want to go across to Sanju Verma. Sanju Verma, the question is, yes, I don't know that 83% survey because we had a survey just 2 days ago where political stock exchange was concerned and that wasn't the figure, so we'll only be looking at the figures that we put out. But having said that, let's say that you or the BJP feels that 100% of people support the Prime Minister in what he does. That still doesn't take away the right of the opposition to ask questions, to demand answers, and to get the response from the government. This is a democratically elected opposition. You are an elected government, but this is also an elected opposition. And if you go by vote share 2024, Sanju Verma, it's not very far off from where you stand. It's actually practically the same.
Preeti, now you've asked me a question. I don't wish to be rude. There is nothing called a democratically elected opposition. You have a democratically elected ruling party, and because the opposition fails to win the requisite number of votes, by default they sit in the opposition. People don't elect a democratically elected opposition. So Preeti, don't peddle this whataboutery on your show. I have a lot of respect for you. Please don't go down that path. But let me come to the moot point. The moot point, Preeti, is this. And I'm not going to shy away or get tired of saying this. I've done a zillion shows on your, channel. And let me say this. The biggest demand of the opposition, or rather Rahul Gandhi, is we want a special session. Operation Meghdoot, 13th April 1984, after the Siachen standoff between India and Pakistan, Indira Gandhi clearly said, no special session. Operation Blue Star, 1st to 6th June 1984. Despite demand from the opposition, Indira Gandhi said, special session की जरूरत बिल्कुल है ही नहीं. Operation Pavan, 11th October 1987, under an incompetent Rajiv Gandhi, went on for 3.5 years. More than 30,000 people lost, both in India and Sri Lanka. Despite various demands, Rajiv Gandhi said, special session की जरूरत है ही नहीं. And then comes Operation Cactus, 3rd November 1988, after the regime change in Maldives. Everybody, including people who are not political stakeholders, said, why did India have to, interfere in what happens in Maldives? Special session bulao. And Rajiv Gandhi said, special session ki zarurat nahi. But let me say one thing. This is not the convenient truth. There are umpteen surveys. I would request the Congress spokesperson to read, educate herself, rather than coming across as an ignoramus and saying, "हमें तो पता नहीं कौन सा survey, आपको
Ma'am, your
पता नहीं,
time is
that's
up.
why you're sitting in the opposition."
Sanju Verma, ma'am, your time is up. And, because you made a point and I allowed you to have your say, but let me also say something. You might have a lot of respect for me. I share the similar sentiment. Like, I don't tell you to go down a certain path. I'd appreciate exactly the same sentiment from you. So do not tell me what path I need to go down. But having said that, where you said you cannot, that there is not a democratically elected opposition, the sheer fact that this country has given exactly the same amount of vote share to the opposition. The last time around, there was no position for the leader of opposition because the country did not accord him the kind of percentage, or a party the percentage to sit in terms of number of seats in the opposition. So, madam, you might be mistaken, but yes, the country also elects an opposition. I want to give in two minutes each. You can choose the time. You can choose that 2 minutes to continue talking about the anchor. That's your prerogative. But I want to shift right now 2 minutes to Mahima Singh. Mahima Singh, with being the principal opposition, also comes with principal responsibility and accountability. When you try and hyphenate the Prime Minister of this country with surrender at a time when an operation is still ongoing, you do the biggest disservice to the country. So at the back of that, then to come and then demand that the sitting government actually listens to an opposition is a little far-fetched, because you've already somewhere down the line dragged them down the hole of hyphenating on a global level. The Prime Minister with surrender. Why should the government listen to you now? 2 minutes, ma'am.
See, Preeti, you see the word hyphenation, in the recent times, we have seen how India has been hyphenated with Pakistan. You're talking about hyphenating Prime Minister with the word surrender. What do we say, Preeti? Our simple request, and not only ours, but the whole country's, and we have been resonating that request as a responsible, dignified opposition, is that let the Prime Minister of our country, who is a self-proclaimed Vishwaguru, you see, who is, for the BJP, he's the ultimate authority, ultimate power. Why can he not come out and plainly rebut what Mr. Trump has reiterated 12 times within a span of 25 days? A dozen times Mr. Trump comes out and says, and what we saw just 2 days ago, Preeti, we saw an Indian boy beaten up brutally in an inhumane manner, on the at the American airport, an Indian entrepreneur voicing that. An Indian entrepreneur has the courage, has the the sort of responsible stance to come out and condemn that. But our Prime Minister will not condemn how America treated our immigrants, how America has been hyphenating India and Pakistan, how America has been coming on terms with China, how Indian government has been going ahead and conducting trade with China, how we were ignored at the G7 summit for the longest time, and then the last minute invitation came and the Prime Minister just pounced at it. So what do we say when a Prime Minister has the only response our Prime Minister has is the dumbfounded silence, which annoys us all, which worries us all, which concerns the whole country. Not only the whole country, Preeti, let me tell you, it's for the first time the world is watching India.
Ma'am, the time is up. Ma'am, the time is up. Like the BJP spokesperson said that India stands with the Prime Minister. The sheer fact you're sitting in the opposition today, Mahima Singh, is because the country has voted in the Prime Minister. So, when you use the whole country is asking that question, let's not get into absolutes, because you and I both know better on where you stand, where it comes down to electoral dividends, which the BJP got and you got. But, ma'am, I'll come back to you. I want to give in 2 minutes to Sanju Verma to come in for a rebuttal. And Sanju Verma, that's all the time that I have for you. You can choose it to attack the anchor or make your party point. Go ahead.
I will make my party point. I am not attacking Preeti Choudhry, but if Preeti Choudhry engages in whataboutery, I will call out a bluff. Very simply, it's as simple as that. Now let me come to the moot point. These people keep saying Narendra surrender, Narendra surrender. I will tell you when we surrendered. When Pandit Nehru gave away 38,000 square kilometers of upside chill on a golden platter to the Chinese. When we lost the 1962 war with China, it is then that Pandit Nehru surrendered. When did we surrender? We surrendered via a lame duck Shimla agreement in 1972, wherein Indira Gandhi could not get back 54 Indian POWs who were left to languish and rot in Pakistan, but she gave away 93,000 Pakistani POWs to Pakistan on a golden platter. Surrender happened when Indira Gandhi caved into every ridiculous demand of Zulfikar Ali Bhutto. Surrender happened when the Indian Air Force was willing to avenge the Mumbai 26/11 terror attack. And Fali Homi Major, the then IAF chief, is on record saying that Manmohan Singh and Sonia Gandhi refused to take action against Pakistan. Surrender happened in 1974 when Indira Gandhi gave away Kachativu Islands to Sri Lanka, saying, oh, it's a barren piece of rock. Surrender happened when the Congress refused to take any action post the Samjhauta Express blast, Malegaon blast, German bakery blast, Chinnaswamy Stadium blast, the Kharagpur bombings, the Kalyan train bombings, the Coimbatore bombings, the Jaipur blast, the Ahmedabad blast. As far as we are concerned, Preeti, for the first time in India's history, not only did we cross the LOC, not only did we cross the international border, not only did we go beyond POK, via Operation Sindoor, we struck at the very heart of Pakistan, as Prime Minister Modi said. सिर्फ घर के अंदर घुसकर मारा नहीं, इस बार पाकिस्तान के सीने पर वार किया है. We attacked Rawalpindi.
All right, ma'am, your time is up, and that's all the time that I have for in this debate.
First, a handshake that many thought was impossible. A meeting of the two since the Congress lost Rajasthan elections in 2023. Now, Rajasthan Congress leaders Sachin Pilot and Ashok Gehlot on the same stage to mark the 25th death anniversary of Rajasthan's ex-union minister and Sachin Pilot's father, Rajesh Pilot. Is there a real thaw in the Sachin Pilot-Ashok Gehlot feud? In a rare gesture hinting at reconciliation, Sachin Pilot met Ashok Gehlot in Jaipur after years of acrimony, personally inviting him to a memorial for his late father, Rajesh Pilot, and Ashok Gehlot accepted. And Ashok Gehlot attended the memorial at Dausa. After years of acrimony, have the two buried the hatchet? Is this truly a political ceasefire? Top focus on to the point.
Joining me right now is Congress senior leader Sachin Pilot himself. Appreciate you taking the time out, Mr. Pilot, for joining us on this quick chat. First up, sir, somber moment today marking the death anniversary of your father, 25 years on.
Yeah, it's hard to believe it's been that many years now, and this day exactly 25 years ago is when we lost him, and we always mark his death anniversary with a prayer meet, and today also in Dausa, right the spot where he had the accident is where we had this prayer meet every year.
Mr. Pilot, a lot is said about, a person in terms of 25 years on. You had many leaders from the Congress, senior leaders as well, coming to the fore. People fondly still remembering Mr. Pilot, your father, Rajesh Pilot.
Yes, it's very humbling, but I'm also very thankful to not just the leaders, but average people in Rajasthan all over the country, that they still remember him fondly. And I think it's a measure of what impression a politician leaves on people. 25 years is a long time. And I think he did in his public life really create a positive impact on people, on society. And I think it's something to be proud of as a son, but also as a politician. I think I have a lot to look up to and try and see if I can follow on his paths. But it's very humbling, very comforting, and I'm very thankful for all the people who have wished and prayed and supported us and supported me all along in these 25 years.
On a personal question, Mr. Pilot, how well do you think you've carried your father's legacy? Many would say that you've done a very good job when you look back.
I think that's very generous, anyone who says that. Those are different times. I mean, I came from a very different background. My father was in Air Force, he was a member of parliament, I had a good school education, I had all the creature comforts that one can imagine. But yet he made us live very humbly and simply. But where he came from and the roots that he actually started up from were very, very different. He was very challenging times for him. He lost his father at the age of 8. He had sisters to marry. He worked in a dairy near New Delhi, supplied milk to all these Luton Delhi bungalows in Delhi. And he really worked his way up to become an Air Force officer. And then to have accomplished that, to give that up and join public life and the hurly-burly of politics was a very challenging decision for him. It's very challenging for a young pilot officer to leave a comfortable job and take up public life. He did that, but I think he was able to do a lot more. I think he was there for 19 years in public life. That's it, just 19 years. I've had now 21, so I think it's wrong to compare. I don't think I'll ever match up to what he was able to achieve, given the fact that he came from a very different and a very humble background. But I try and do whatever little bit I can given the opportunities. But yes, God has been kind, people have been very nice and kind to me, and I couldn't have asked for more.
Well, Mr. Pilot, many would say that you might have had it easy in the beginning with being one of the youngest member of parliament and ministers in the beginning, but you also have had fair amount of rough and tumble of Indian politics, and you've seen it up close and personal where Rajasthan is concerned. And one would also say one of the reasons for that was a man who was standing next to you today, who you, after I would reckon 2023 loss of Rajasthan for the Congress, initiated a meeting, an invitation for the memorial today, Mr. Ashok Gehlot.
Well, today was not a political function, but yes, of course, it was a personal invite that I sent to a lot of people, because today was 25th year of his death anniversary. The local people wanted to do a much larger gathering and to really remember him in a bigger fashion. And so I reached out to everybody who I could, and everybody came. I think the fact that people put aside everything else and remembered the man who contributed in Rajasthan, in the Congress party, all his colleagues, all his friends, people who worked with him, they were from a different generation. But they all came forward and gave their tributes to him today. So I'm very thankful to everybody who came. And I think moving ahead now, one has to look at how the Congress party can be strengthened in Rajasthan and all over India. And like Mr. Kharge and Mr. Gandhi have said, that this 2025 is the year for organization. This is the year when we have to strengthen our workers and our cadre to take on the challenges that are coming up in the next couple of years. Rajasthan goes to polls in about 3 years' time. But we have many state elections that we need to face, so we have to work unitedly and work together. The country needs an alternative, and the Congress party can be that viable alternative. But we have to strengthen ourselves and make ourselves even stronger as we go on.
But Mr. Pilot, was this the reason that you just gave, that it's time to strengthen the organization, you're 3 years away and you need to come together? The reason what made Sachin Pilot go after many, many years and invite the person who had openly used language of Gaddar? I can name a few other words as well. One might say that it wasn't much, but it was an acrimonious political battle fought publicly between you and Mr. Gehlot.
Preeti, in life, what has gone by won't come back again. One has to look ahead. Now, what happened in the past, we can think and talk and deliberate all we want, but time won't come back. And we have to look ahead, we have to look forward, and we have to move on, quite frankly. But for me to go and invite somebody on a personal function and, people coming to that function, I think is a good gesture. And a lot of it also is hyped up. You talked about 2023 election. We fought that election together. We all fought and we did pretty well, actually. We didn't win the elections, but usually we would lose by a huge margin. This time the difference was very little. We had about 70 MLAs out of 200. So it wasn't a bad performance. Previously we had only 21 or 50. This time we had 70 MLAs. So I think we could have obviously try and win the election. We didn't win, but we came quite close. But now we have good performance in Lok Sabha. Rajasthan Congress Party has given a good performance. India Alliance has done well in some parts of North India, and we need to move forward and strengthen ourselves. It's not about individuals. Quite frankly, we work in an organization. The country needs a very strong opposition, and Congress Party is the pivot around which the entire opposition is structured around and looking forward to working. So we have to move forward. We have to look ahead. and we have to be positive.
So, Mr. Pilot, was 2023, the state elections, that moment now that made you realize that, because many would say the Congress came so close yet lost that election. Has that been the reason with which Sachin Pilot went to Ashok Gehlot 3 years before Rajasthan election to truly, call for political ceasefire, for whatever reasons they might be?
I think we use the word ceasefire quite loosely nowadays, so let's not do that. There was no war.
Okay, bury
for a
the
ceasefire.
hatchet. To bury the
Some
hatchet.
people have
Let
a
me
different
use
way
that
of
one.
working. So, like I said, there is no. The common objective was to fight, defeat BJP, and win elections. Some people have a different way of working. Sometimes there's difference of opinion, but in the Congress party, we can sit together, hash out those differences, and move forward. There's nothing wrong in having a different approach as long as your commitments are all common, and that's what it was. And quite frankly, 2023 was an election where the Congress party, usually when we are in government, we lose very badly. Out of 200 seats, once we got 20, other time we got 50. This time we did 50% better, we got 70 odd seats. So we all worked hard, we gave it our best. Unfortunately, it was short of getting a majority. But I keep saying we should not look back, we have to look ahead. We have elections now in Assam, in Kerala, and Bihar. Now then, in 2.5, 3 years later, we have Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, Rajasthan. So all these state elections are important, and I keep saying, unless we win state elections, it's so important for the Congress party and for all of us to win state elections. And that sets the tone for the Lok Sabha elections, which is also only 4 years away, and time flies very quickly. So I think we all have to work together. Congress party is the platform that can be a voice of the people. And Mr. Gandhi, within Parliament, outside Parliament, has been taking it on himself to question and put the government to task when it needs to, make it answerable. And we all have to support that endeavor, whether it's Mr. Kharge or Mr. Gandhi, and we all work as a team. So I think not just myself, but everybody in the Congress party has a common view on how to move forward and fight this battle unitedly.
Well, it does seem so, Mr. Pilot. I'll ask you two final questions because you had even Mr. Gehlot, who actually went on to say, some would find it a tad bit funny, but went on to say, kabhi duri thi hi nahi. So how much did the top brass of the Congress, you speak of Rahul Gandhi playing a pivotal role in maybe bringing the two of you together, or was it something that you initiated and you've got a favorable response back?
I think you're reading far too much into this. The distance, we all work in the same organization. We all had to work in the elections, Lok Sabha elections, Vidhan Sabha elections. So you can have some difference of opinion in the past. People overcome that. Life goes on. We have to look ahead. And you talked about Mr. Ashok Gehlot. He's 30 years older than I am, and he got elected to Parliament along with my father in 1980. So that much, value system my family has inculcated in me, that you give regard and respect to people who are older than you. Sometimes you say things that you may not mean, or something's come out that are perhaps not meant in the way they're supposed to be. But I think we have to move on. Maybe apne se jo chote hote hain, I say some things a lot of times, but one must not hold on to that, and we have to move forward.
Well, you're right there. You have to move forward. You're doing it 3 years before the general elections. And Mr. Pilot, like they say, the old needs to give way to the new. Is that going to be the order of the day when going ahead and fighting the Rajasthan elections?
You're always looking for headlines. That's the problem. So
well, that's my job.
I don't mean to say anything of that nature. All I'm saying is that, the thing is, in elections, the BJP has a formidable election machine. How they've actually compromised on the credibility of institutions. The election commission, like Mr. Gandhi said, is under a lot of speculation as to are they working in the right way. So when you have a party that is in power both in Jaipur and in Delhi, and they've got the resources and the ability to manipulate, after all of that, we have to be very, very strong at the grassroots to be able to fight that battle. And we can only fight if we fight unitedly. And I keep repeating this because it's important for everyone to understand that the Congress or the opposition has to come together. And it's not about some magic formula. It's about individuals who have some strength on the ground, that they have to forge their strengths and move aage and move forward. So I believe that whatever may be the ultimate decision that the party takes in different states, whatever it might be, one has to accumulate all of our strength and resources and pool them together and then move forward. That is the only way when we can defeat the BJP in states and the center.
Well, we wish you well, and let's see if you can truly do that from here on. 3 years before elections, many would read it as a very good sign for the Congress that you're putting your lot together. Thank you for taking the time out, Mr. Pilot, and joining us. And we'll get back to you later when the time comes in terms of party positions and all, because I know you're not going to give us any headlines on that either right now. But thank you, sir, for taking the time out. Appreciate it.